Welcome! This is a short video about the Vodafone Femtocell, or as they like to call it, the Vodafone Access Gateway. If you don't know what a Femtocell is, it's basically a miniature version of a normal mobile phone mast. The unit is really easy to set up. There's a network connection that goes into a network where you have internet access, and that just gets an IP address using DHCP. And then there's a power connection, and that's it. Then register the unit online, and it takes about 24 hours for them to get themselves into gear and actually activate it. And then you have to register the phone numbers you want to use it for. So it won't just work with everyone who happens to come into the area. It'll only work for the people you specify in advance. Then it'll let you use up to basically 4 people. So 4 people at a time can make a phone call using it. Once it's all set up and registered, then basically when you get your phone out, it just automatically connects, and you can see I've got full signal. It says also Vodafone UK, so like from the actual phone point of view, you can't tell that it's connected to this thing. All you can see is that there's full signal, but you don't know where it's connected to. It would be nice if it actually told you or had some indication that it wasn't connected to a normal mobile phone mast, but I guess that's probably not possible. So what I'm going to do is just basically make a phone call to prove that it works. So when it does get into use, this light comes on to flash to show that someone's using it. So if I just dial a voicemail, put it on loudspeaker,
New messages. Main menu.
you can see that's flashing.
Messages. Press 2.
I like to test things, so I'm actually going to make the call again, okay, and I'm going to ring the voicemail. Right, so that's connected. I'm now going to actually disconnect the data cable, so it stops, and then I'm going to plug the data cable back in, and it actually continues straight away.
Press 9.
It doesn't hang up the call. I thought it would like disconnect the call because it loses the connection back to Vodafone, but obviously it doesn't. So I don't know, it probably would if you left it out for longer. Because if you left it out for too long, then obviously one of these lights would stop and go out or flash to tell you there's lost connection. Okay, so that's pretty cool the way you can do that. The other thing I'm going to do then, I'm going to call voicemail again, and this time when it's on the call, I'll unplug the power.
New messages.
I'm going to see what happens.
For your messages.
Okay, here we go.
Press 2.
So unplug the power. Obviously the voice has stopped, and I get a connection error message. And now my signal's all gone, so I've got no signal. So I should now, it should automatically connect to the normal Vodafone cell, which is actually pretty bad signal in this area, hence why we got this thing. And it costs about £140 plus VAT, and it's a one-off fee. You don't pay a monthly thing, so that's actually great, although you shouldn't have to pay Vodafone just so you can actually get signal in your area, but then that's probably the times we live in, isn't it? Okay, I'm back on the main Vodafone cell now. You can tell because I've got basically only 1 bar, or if I hold the phone in a certain position I might be able to get more. So the Femtocell is still unplugged, and I've got 1 bar of reception, or maybe 2. I'm just going to dial voicemail again, and I've got a cheap radio here. Now you know when you put the phone next to the radio, you get that familiar interference noise. Okay, and that interference is due to the RF emissions from the actual phone, the transmitting, because it's quite high power. Because the signal has to go for basically a few miles, or maybe up to a few miles to the nearest cell. Now the good thing about the Femtocell is because it's basically works in a similar kind of way to a digital cordless phone you might have around the house. So it's actually a much less power than you would normally use on a mobile phone going out to a mobile phone mast. So if I just plug this back in, it takes a few minutes for it to actually connect into Vodafone and get itself set up, and then when it is, when it's set up, the phone will connect again. And I'm going to repeat the test, but this time making a call through here, and we'll see what happens with the interference. Okay, so the device is fully powered on again, and I'm back connected onto it because I've got the full signal. So I'm going to go over to my cheap radio, make another phone call, So I'm on the call.
Main menu. For your messages,
There's no interference.
press 2. Personal greetings.
Yeah.
Press 3.
You can hear there's no interference coming out from the radio. And what's happening there is because the Femtocell is obviously much less power, the phone knows that it doesn't need to use a high power to transmit. And so it's using the same kind of power as you would do on a cordless phone in a house. And that's two reasons why that's good, really. One of them is that your phone's using less power, so the battery's going to last longer. And the second thing is that if you believe that mobile phones are harmful to humans because of the radiation, then this is a lot less harmful because it's only using a fraction of the power. So for a test of the signal, I know I'm right next to it now, so it's obvious I get full bars, but you probably want to wonder how far I can go. So I'm going to go for a little walk. I'm going to go down the hallway, through a door, and I'm going to go upstairs, through another door, into a meeting room. Right, now, look at my phone. I've actually still got full signal there. So I've still got full signal. If I go backwards a bit through here, to here, right. So I'm actually a fair distance away from it now, and I've still got full signal. Okay, need to do a better test then. Okay, so instead, I'm actually going to go outside and see how far I can walk outside before I even get like 1 bar less. So I'm going to go outside. Okay, so I'm leaving the door. I'm just going to start walking away from the building. Still got full reception. Still got full reception. Aha, right. Now it's actually come down by about 2 bars, so that's actually the building, and the Femtocell isn't in that room, it's in the room behind that. So it's a fair distance away, and I've still got, it's still reasonable. It's not full coverage, but it's much better than it would have been anyway. And the thing about this phone is that just picking up the phone normally lowers the signal by about 5 bars just because of your hand, and it's still good even when I'm holding it here. So I would guess that it's probably about the same range as if you did have a digital cordless phone in the house. It's about the same kind of thing as that. But all in all, pretty impressive results, I think. And it's a good little device. So if you have any questions, you want to know anything about it, just leave me a comment and I'll happily answer your question.